Hello iPods and happy Valentine's Day. Today I want to do something a little bit different. I wanted to do a little Q&A slash advice segment, but also to make it more interesting, I'm going to be doing some Valentine's Day baking. Now the recipe I found was some random one I found on Pinterest. I'll put the link in the description if you guys want to recreate it, but I'll let you know at the end of the video if it actually tastes good. The only issue is here in Canada, I couldn't find one of the ingredients, so I had to substitute it. And there is a chance that Martin could have an allergic reaction with this, but he said it's fine. He loves me and he's willing to take that risk just to eat my baking. So let's get started. Okay, I have my cute new apron on. They didn't have too many Valentine's Day ones, but I thought this was cute for like spring as well. It has little teacups on it and it's pink. And I wanted to wear pink because it's freaking Valentine's Day. You can't really see, but I'm wearing some pink slippers as well. I'm nice and comfy and cozy because I like to be comfortable when I'm baking. So the recipe was supposed to be strawberry cheesecake white chocolate cookies, and the main ingredient that's used in this recipe is strawberry cake mix, but that's just not sold in Canada, and I found that out a bit like the night before I was filming this video, and I was just so set on this, so I decided to substitute with cherry cake mix, and I really hope it tastes the same. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, and I have my cute pink KitchenAid. All right, in a large stand mixer, mix cream cheese, egg, and cake mix. Okay, I appreciate all of you guys taking the time to ask me questions and advice. That really means a lot to me. I love that you guys feel comfortable to ask me stuff and look at me as a person that gives great advice, because that's all I really want to do. I love talking to you guys, and I was so excited to do this video. So I think while we're baking, I'm going to start off with some of the most asked questions, kind of general questions, and then while we are waiting for this to finish baking, I'm gonna sit down and get more into the advice questions. I've been getting a lot of questions about relationships, life, what it's like being a teenager, going through school, that type of stuff. 170 grams of cream cheese. I don't know what that is. Okay, a lot of people have asked me if I plan on getting more pets, and if so, what would I get? So I know this may be hard to believe considering we have 5, and I'm pretty sure I've said I would get no more pets after the last 4, but I truly mean it. No more pets right now. I have 3 cats and 2 dogs, and I also have a hamster. The hamster we got before Gwen. So Gwen technically was our 6th pet. And it's a lot, but I'm very grateful that Martin and I are home a lot and able to spend a lot of time with our animals, or else I would not have this many animals. I also still do work at an animal hospital, so that was like a big reason for me being more comfortable getting another animal. Would I get any more pets right now? No. The only way I will say I'll get another pet right now is if I literally was walking down the street and I saw like a stray dog or cat and it came up to my doorstep. Obviously I'd have to take it in. Other than that, I'm not actively looking for another pet, and I probably won't get any more until one of mine sadly passes away, and even after that, might take me a while to get another one. Hey Gwen, my next pet, what would it be? I love dogs. I am a dog person. I think my next pet would probably be like a family pet for my kids, and whatever dog they kind of want when they're old enough. That was like I begged my parents for a pet or a dog since I was like 4 years old. I've always loved animals, and I didn't get my first dog till I was 10, and I loved her so much, and she was a schnauzer, so I would love to get one again for my kids because it's just such a great dog to grow up with. All right, that took me a long time, but I'm trying to smooth it out because this was supposed to be room temperature and it's a bit cold, so I'm trying to warm this up. Sticking in the theme of animals, next question that I was getting a lot was, what's your favorite thing about working with animals? I've always loved animals. I wanted to be a vet since I was 4 years old. That's one of my earliest memories. I don't know if I've talked about this before. I don't know if I have. For Christmas, I got this little doctor kit, like one of those play ones with like a stethoscope, the little needle thing, and I would pretend to do surgery on my stuffed animals, and I wanted to be taking care of animals Obviously, I'm not remembering this fully, but I do remember vividly having that doctor kit and just knowing from there that I wanted to help animals. And a lot of my memories growing up have to do with animals. I would always be involved with working with animals growing up. We didn't get my first dog till I was 10, but I had like birds, hamsters, fish, and my favorite thing was waking up early in the morning and going down and even just watching my fish swim in the tank. I was just so fascinated with animals. And from a very young age, as soon as I figured out what a veterinarian was, I was like, this is what I want to do. Okay, I think this is warm enough. Gwen, you can't be here, girl. No. I also get a lot of questions asking, where did Gwen go? She's right here. She's just so different from our other cats and our dogs. She's always just hanging out by the heater, like the vents. And then we'll see her maybe twice a day because she just sleeps, literally sleeps all day. She's out right now because it's near her lunchtime and she likes when I'm in the kitchen because she thinks I'm going to give her some food, but she's a good girl and Carl loves her. Like, Carl is the most friendly cat ever, but I genuinely think he knows this is his sister because he's never been so nice to a cat. Right? Okay. Another question that I have gotten often is, what's it like being a vet? Do I like being a vet? I know there's a lot of confusion in like the vet industry and like the terminology and nurses, stuff like that. Maybe it's not clear. I'm not a veterinarian though. I am in school to be a veterinary technician. What I want to do with the veterinary technology associate's degree, I would love to work in large animal practice. I'm thinking long term in my future because Martin and I do want to have a little ranch. I would love to be a mobile technician and work with farm animals, horses, that type of thing. So that's my dream one day. I love horses. I am a horse girl. I am. 1 large egg. Easy. Okay. Another question that I get asked often is, would I recommend being a vet? Some advice for going to veterinary school. This is a very big question, and I will try to summarize this the best that I can because I did spend my whole 4 years of university wanting to go to vet school. Going to nursing was something kind of like random that I decided to do in my 3rd year. I totally switched up. But if I can give some advice to anyone that is trying to go to vet school, whether you're in high school, you're in university, or you're trying to go back to school, spend more time focusing on your grades because at the end of the day, that's what most schools care about. I spent a lot of time doing a lot of volunteer work. I have been fostering dogs since I was 18 years old. I helped run a dog rescue. I worked in emergency animal hospital since I was 18. I volunteered with different organizations. I helped run a pre-vet club at my university. I spent so much time with my extracurriculars and working that I feel like I wasn't putting my grades first. And if anyone's trying to get to vet school, it is very, very competitive. And yes, you do need very, very high grades, but it's not doable. I think I was just so discouraged from seeing other people apply with similar grades to me and not getting in that I was just very discouraged, and I was very young, and I think it's very hard to tell someone 18 years old, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? I wish I was a bit older when I decided to make that decision. And I just felt like nursing was like a guaranteed job and it was a safe option. So I never even applied to vet school. I spent all that work and I never even applied. And I didn't have, Carl, don't you dare. No. I didn't have bad grades, but at least here in Canada, you need very, very high 90s, and that's not even a guarantee to get in. My advice to people that are looking to be a veterinarian, it is worth it. It's very hard. It's very competitive, but don't give up. That's one thing. I wish I didn't give up, but I've come to realize it's not a veterinarian that I really wanted to be. Being a nurse and being at the bedside and actually working with patients has made me realize the aspect I love about the medical field is actually working hands-on with patients, whether that's humans or animals, and that opened me up to the technician program because it's essentially what I was doing as a nurse, but with animals. If it's your dream to be a vet, go for it, try, apply. Even if you maybe think you don't have the grades, just do it. I just think if that's what you want to do, don't give up. It's hard, school's hard, it's a long process, but it's worth it, and if that's what you want to do in life, I applaud you. It's a very great career. And if you want to be a technician, that's also amazing too, or an assistant, or do anything with animals. I think working with animals is so rewarding, and anyone who works with animals or people are very selfless people. 1 box of strawberry cake mix. Now I don't have strawberry cake mix, like I said. I'm gonna try the cherry. I really hope that it's actually like cherry flavored and not just cherry bits in it, because it says cherry chip and there's little red things in there. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 a cup of vegetable oil. Also, guys, I'm getting over the flu. I can't even explain these last like 2 days how I felt, but I have never been so sick in my entire life. I haven't had the flu, I think, since I was a child. I don't know what's going around, guys. If anyone has gotten this flu, let me know. How many days did it take to feel better? Because it's been just over 2 days now, and I'm fighting through it. Guys, this is made, like, you can make ice cream in this. I love this, and I got it on sale. So they always have sales on KitchenAid, so if you guys want one, I really recommend it. If you guys are bakers, I really think it's worth it because they last so freaking long. Okay, who is an Eddie bias? Because Eddie is my little baby. I love him. He's been so good. He is just ending his puppy stage. I think, yeah, he's almost 1.5 years. And he's just the cutest, most well-behaved dog now. It took him a very long time. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, you were a bad boy before, but you're a good boy now. He's so good. Just one day, he like woke up and decided to stop peeing and pooing in the house. All his puppy classes, all of the training really paid off because he's just a really good boy now, right? I know I'm baking. And I like this attachment because nothing really gets stuck on it, but look at that. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Okay, what's next? Fold in white chocolate chips. Okay, 3/4 of a cup of white chocolate chips. Oops. This is gonna be so good. My cookie sheet and my parchment paper, I'm just gonna leave that here, I guess. And we're just gonna hang out until that's done preheating. We can put it in the oven. I get a lot of questions about me being a nurse, if I'm still a nurse, what kind of a nurse was I or am I, and how was nursing school? I do have a lot of ipods who are trying to be nurses, so I thought this would be a great time to answer kind of all of these questions in one go. So am I still a nurse? No, I quit nursing in May 2024. I moved to Toronto in October 2023. I was working full-time from then up until April. Short answer, no, I'm not a nurse. I still have my license, so I technically am still a nurse, but I just don't work as one. Here we get 3 years to register as a practicing nurse before we have to do non-practicing. That's if you're not working. And so it will be coming on 2 years this May. So I have 1 more year, and I just keep renewing my license. It's really freaking expensive, but I just do it just in case, because you never know. And I spend all that time and money on school and stress and everything, so I just keep renewing it, and then I'll switch to non-practicing. But I really don't foresee myself ever going back to nursing. Now, what kind of nurse was I? When I graduated, I started working where I did my practicum, which is your last semester of clinical work. You do 2 months full time, at least where I went to school. And I worked in a locked dementia unit. It was a behavioral unit, and I actually really liked that job. But we were moving to Toronto, and I had no other choice. I had to let go of that job. But also during that time, since I worked there part-time, I worked part-time in orthopedic surgery, so it was pre and post-op patients. It wasn't a med-surg unit. It was actually technically a surgery unit. I wasn't a surgical nurse because that's a whole other program you have to do. I learned a lot, and it helped me with my other job that I got once I moved here in Toronto. I worked, I don't know what it'd be called in the US or other countries if it's called the same, but it's called nursing resource team here. So essentially it's a float nurse. I floated between 15 different units, complex care, palliative, long-term care, rehab, med-surg, that type of thing. So it was really just everything. And yeah, that was my downfall in nursing, was accepting that job and not knowing what the hell it was, and working full-time as a new grad. I feel like that was my downfall, and that was just the beginning of it. It was a really hard job. So to say what kind of nurse was I? Good question. I was a float nurse. Like the last job I had, I was a float. So I guess you could label me as like a complex care nurse. I think that would summarize everything. But yeah, if I were ever to go back into nursing, I would not go back into that again. I would go into what I originally wanted to do when I started nursing school, and I wanted to be a pediatric nurse. That's why I went into nursing. Unfortunately, it's extremely competitive, especially where I lived. There was one children's hospital, and it was so hard to get in there. And I just didn't have the experience. A lot of my experience is in geriatrics. So yeah, and adults, it was hard to get in there. For everyone that is asking me advice about nursing school, is it worth it? Anyone who's in nursing school or who's currently working as a nurse, I will say it's not all doom and gloom. There are good aspects to it, and at the end of the day, if you have a passion for helping people, it is a very rewarding career, even if at times it doesn't feel like it. What I can say and what I would have loved to tell myself, maybe when I was younger, is stand up for yourself more. If you don't feel safe taking those patients or that assignment, and you're a new grad, or if it's just above your scope, stick up for yourself. It is your license at the end of the day. That's what I would recommend to anyone who's a new grad or just starting out or overwhelmed. And don't let your workplace take advantage of you. Don't let them overschedule you. Don't let them give you more patients than what you can handle or are legally allowed to have, whatever state or country that you're in, what your requirements are. If you are in it now and you are thinking, this is not for me, I'm not happy, there are so many other things that nursing can open you up to. It's not just bedside. And for people that say, stick it out, whatever, you can then, you have to put in the work. I really don't recommend burning yourself out just for the potential of maybe getting a better job after. Constantly look for other jobs, maybe upgrade your schooling if you have the opportunity. And if you can, and if you really do have to stay in that job, stick up for yourself more. That's what I'd recommend. Now, to anyone who's in nursing school or thinking about it, I would really do your research, because 17, 18 years old is super young for any high schooler to figure out what they want to do with the rest of their life. I recommend getting some volunteer work try and get into the hospital, being an aide, a CNA, just anything to really see how the hospital works. See if you can shadow, ask your guidance counselors, stuff like that. Really look into the job before you apply to nursing school, because there is so much to it. Yeah. So anyone that's in nursing school, stick through it. It is hard. And I tell people all the time, it is literally one of the hardest programs to go through, because I don't know, maybe I think med school is probably like this too, but having to get 100% in certain classes, and if you don't in that one class, you fail the whole year. It is so hard. It is really hard, but it is worth it. And make some friends. That's the biggest thing that got me through, making friends in school, having people to study with and learn from and just talk to and vent to, because as much as Martin helped and he tried, he never really understood it. And unless you've actually worked in the hospital, I can't even explain. It's just good to have other nurses as friends. So in school, outside of school, really try to meet some new people and help each other out. So don't let my bad experience discourage you, because I know many nurses who love their job and have great work-life balance, and that's the most important thing. Now, I'm gonna put these cookies. This actually, I don't know what recipe I followed, but this actually makes quite a bit. So hopefully they turn out well. I'm gonna put them in the oven. I think it's for 15 minutes. Now, in the spirit of Valentine's Day, I've been getting so many relationship type questions, and I am super excited to answer all of these. And it means so much to me that you guys look up to me and ask me for advice, and I love being able to do this and sit down and to answer some of these questions. So I got a lot of questions about Martin and I and our relationship, and the biggest one was my first impression of Martin and how did we meet. So we met on good old Tinder. Now, I don't know what it's like. This was 5 years ago, so I really couldn't say, but I really didn't know it was gonna go anywhere, as most people meeting online and do. So let me just say, okay, I had followed him on Instagram maybe a day or two before we matched on Tinder, because I think that's why we were in the same city. He came up and it shows the Instagram thing, but there are so many people I know that have met their partner on dating apps, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it as long as you're being safe And I was not really one to just like meet up with random people. Like that's just like not my vibe. And I felt more comfortable with him because we talked, we FaceTimed, and we had mutual friends. We got some food, and I remember so clearly I was so nervous driving up to his place. We met outside his apartment to go get pizza. Well, we were supposed to get sushi actually, and it was so late because his class finished at 8 p.m. We went to get sushi, and there was no sushi left at the place, so we got pizza instead. When I saw him, I thought he was very sweet. We just had really good conversations, and I stayed so late. Like I think we just talked for like 4 or 5 hours, and after that I was like, I know this isn't going to be the last time I'm seeing him. Okay, to continue with Martin and I. How many kids do you want, and do you want girls or boys or both? Okay, Martin and I have always said we want 2 kids. One time he said 3. I don't know about that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I can do that, but I'll start saying I would love to have a girl, of course, but at the end of the day, I really don't care. All jokes aside, I actually don't really care, and I already know that I just know that I'm probably gonna have boys because Martin has all boys on his side. That's why I just think it'd be so iconic if we had a girl, because it would be the first girl in literally so many generations to be born in that family. And I know she'd be so spoiled, and Martin would be a really good girl dad. I really do believe that. But if we have a boy, that's fine. And I would love to adopt. So whenever the time comes, not anytime soon, okay? I'm putting that out there right now. Guys, don't get your hopes up. I'm young, I'm 25. I don't want a kid right now, but I would love to adopt. That would be my dream. Getting into some relationship advice. Let me start off with, I can't sit here and say that I have the best relationship advice. I know everything, because I don't. It took me a long time to find Martin and go through many relationships to find him and know what I want. I think going through those relationships, as much as they sucked, it helped me be who I am today and know what I want and stand up for myself. So I really do encourage people who have either gone through a breakup, don't call it quits, try again, because you will find your right guy. So there is no one answer of how to find a good guy. I think if there are any red flags in the beginning, don't put up with any mistreatment or disrespect from a guy or a girl or anyone, because it's not worth it, and you will find someone. I promise. I really do believe there is someone for everyone. I really do encourage any young girls or young guys to stay true to themselves and don't change for anyone. And that's the best advice I can give you, is just be yourself, really, because you will find someone. So next question, talking stage advice. So what I would say from my own experience is really so broad, so general, but really try and get to know the person and just really make sure your lifestyles align, because that's a really big thing. Discuss in the early stages, well, at least what Martin and I did, like, what do you want to do with our career? Would you want to move ever? Do you like to travel? Do you want kids? Do you want marriage? Like, I think those things are really important to establish in the beginning and make sure you're on the same page. Now, I'm not saying in the talking stage in the first week you have to be like, oh my God, do you want kids? No, you don't have to do that. But I think if you're deep enough into it before you actually get into like a committed relationship, it's important to discuss those things. And again, talking stage, biggest thing, be yourself. Don't try and lead anyone on. So many people do this. They kind of, it's natural to, present yourself in like the best way possible. And of course, it's inevitable. You're going to want to be on your best behavior, but it's good to see the highs and lows in the beginning. And it's okay to have differences. You don't have to be totally alike to make a relationship work. It's good to have your different interests. One takeaway would be yourself, and don't try and change to appeal to another person, because if you're changing yourself so much, it's just not the person for you. I've been getting a lot of questions from people that are in high school wondering about boys, girls, getting a boyfriend, girlfriend, and I'll just say I can't be a hypocrite. I did have boyfriends in high school, boyfriends, if you want to even call it that, high school relationships, and oh my gosh, looking back, so dramatic. I think, like, looking back, as much as some of that stuff that I went through sucked, I think it really just shaped who I am. And I'm not saying everyone needs to get in a relationship in high school, because I know people who didn't date in high school and are now in happy relationships outside of it. Now, if you are in a relationship and you're struggling, it's okay if things don't work out, I know it may seem like the end of the world. I have been there, but I promise you now, I am, how many years? I'm 7, almost 8 years out of high school. It does get better. And that brings me to my next question. How does life get better after 18? So after graduation? And yes, it does. I truly look at high school students now and I just feel their pain, because I remember being in high school and oh my gosh, everything's so dramatic. Everything feels like the end of the world. You're going through puberty, you're getting older, you have all these emotions and hormones running through you, that everything seems like the biggest deal in the world. And at the time it is. It probably feels like the end of the world, but it's not. You embarrass yourself, you do bad on a test, you break up with your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, you get in a fight with your friends. You will not remember it in a few weeks, a month, a year, especially when you're done high school and when you're 18, when you graduate. It was such a freeing feeling being done with high school, and I couldn't imagine, like, sometimes, like, to this day, I actually still have nightmares that I'm in high school and I wake up and I didn't do an assignment. If you're going into high school, you are almost graduating, you're in the middle of high school, it does get better. And while you're in it, try to enjoy it. I know it may seem horrible and it's like the worst thing ever, but there are good aspects to it. There are some memories I have in high school. I had such fun memories and good times with my friends, and you will cherish those memories forever. And you'll look back one day and realize, you know what, it never was that serious. And there are the cookies. Okay, I think I have to go make another dozen. Another great question that I got was, how do you feel about first loves? Do you believe there can only be one in someone's life? Now, this is a very loaded question, and a lot of people may have different opinions, different advice, but for me personally, I believe being in a relationship and loving someone is a choice. You choose to love someone, you choose to stay with them through the good and the bad times. I do believe you can have love for many people in your life in different stages and different phases of your life. You can love people. You could have loved your high school boyfriend because in that time, in that moment, you really truly did believe you loved them and you wanted a relationship and you wanted to marry them or whatever you wanted to do. And I believe in that. I think as you get older and you mature, you will find someone that matches you perfectly, and you will love them so much that you will make a choice every day to continue to love them and be with them. All that to say, I do believe that you can have loved many people in your life, but I do believe that there is someone for everyone. Me at 15 thinking I loved my high school boyfriend, whatever that was, maybe I did at the time. I could have, but looking back now, obviously I know I was very young and maybe it wasn't what real love is, but in the moment I did think that it was, and that was the end, and that was going to be everything. But obviously that's not the case, and here I am now in a happy relationship with Martin, and we're getting married and we have a life together. So that's what I think true love is now that I've actually found it. Another great question: advice you'd give to a 17-year-old girl that you wish you knew when you were 17. Okay. Guys, I really wish what someone told me when I was 17, or honestly at any teenage year, is it's not the end of the world. That fight with your friend, that bad grade, it's not going to ruin your life as you may think it will. And my advice to you, or any other 17, 18, 19, 16, 15, 14, whatever age you are, is just know it gets better. My overall advice would be to be true to yourself and stay true to yourself, and don't try and change who you are just to fit in or try and be someone that you're not. And that's what I wish I told myself. The biggest thing that I wish I knew in high school was it's okay to be yourself, and it's okay to try new things and branch out, and it will all work out. I'm so grateful that I have this platform and I can talk to people and give advice, because that's my favorite thing to do. I love doing that, and I am very grateful for what I have, and so happy that people come to me and ask me for this advice, because I really do like helping young girls, guys, and people that are in high school, university, because I've already experienced it and I did feel really alone. So me being able to give you guys this advice, and you have the opportunity to ask these questions, it really means a lot to me. Okay, I'm gonna put the last batch into the oven. I've been getting a lot of questions about being single, advice for people that are single. So what I can say now, and especially now that Valentine's Day is coming up, it's okay to be single. I really don't think anyone should try and force a relationship or get into a relationship just because your friends are or people around you are. I think it's important to have alone time, and it's important to grow by yourself. And when there is someone that's right for you, they'll come along and they'll tick all the boxes and it will be perfect and everything will line up. I don't think you should ever rush a relationship. And I know it may seem hard during this time of year to be single and this season, but I don't think Valentine's Day is just for people in relationships. I think it's about love, and love, you can love so many different people, your family, your friends, your pets. And as long as you have people around you that you can spend this time with, or maybe just treat yourself, love yourself on this Valentine's Day, that's the most important thing. And I think being single can be good, and it can be very freeing, especially if you just gotten out of a long relationship. I think it's important to focus on yourself and love yourself. And when you do that, the right person will come along and everything will work out. For all of my single ipods out there, this Valentine's Day, it's fine. Live your life, enjoy it, have fun, be free, go with your friends, go take yourself on dates, because truly nothing feels better than taking care of yourself, pampering yourself, going getting a facial, going to your nails done, going getting a massage, going out to dinner, maybe go to the cafe, get some coffee, bookstore. You can truly do so much with your friends and family and yourself, and you should never compromise your beliefs and what you want in life for someone else. So that's my biggest advice to anyone that's looking for a relationship, currently single, maybe just got out of a relationship. Never change yourself for someone else. So I got a couple questions and I'll group them into one because I think I can give one big answer for this. So how did you and Martin keep your relationship so healthy? No attachment, jealousy, etc. And how to gain independence in a relationship are two questions that I thought would be very important to answer. I will say with Martin and I, we got together when we were youngish. I was 21, he was 22. So we had a lot of time to grow together, especially being a young adult. There's so much change in your life, and it's just working through those phases together, and at the end of the day realizing you're working together, not against each other. And that's some of my biggest relationship advice is you're not, when you're arguing or whatever, at the end of the day you have to realize you are trying to grow together, not apart. You are a team, and that's what you should really keep in mind when you're going through hard times or with your partner. Now, that's not to say if there are some bad things in the relationship that you should stay and try and work it out. And if they're not treating you well, it's important to put yourself first. Trust is a huge thing that a lot of people struggle with. So I think it's important to have a conversation with your partner, and trust just comes over time. Like, I used to be a pretty untrusting person before Martin, and now I truly have I don't know, I think it came just very easily with Martin. I truly have no doubts, and I think that just came with age and maturity and being with someone and having a whole life together, that I just learned to trust them, because at the end of the day you can't control what someone's going to do. And I think once you have that realization that someone's going to do something if they want to, you can't stop it, and you shouldn't want to stop someone if they don't want to be with you, if they want to go out and cheat or do whatever. I don't know how to say this nicer, but let them, because they're not worth it. Break up with them, leave them. It's not worth it for them to treat you like that and stay. For people that deal with maybe anxiety in relationships and attachment issues, I think a big thing is to try and focus on doing things by yourself more, getting some hobbies, hanging out with friends, family, and creating a good, healthy distance sometimes from the relationship, having days apart, not spending all the time together. I think once you have that, you'll cherish your time together a lot more, and you'll learn to be more independent. Now, I am not a psychologist or a therapist, so I can't say this is the right advice, but this is just my experience and what's helped me. I am getting a lot of questions about confidence, how to be confident, how to love yourself, and how am I confident as I've gotten older and going through my teenage years and my early 20s. So I will say that obviously I feel like as a woman I have struggled a lot with body image, and that second puberty is real. I did not believe it until I went through it, and I've gone through a lot of changes, and it's taken a lot, and it takes a lot mentally to be okay with that, because changes are inevitable. You are not going to stay that same size you were in high school, and I needed to get that mentality and that mindset out of my head. And I started looking at clothes differently. I stopped trying to fit into things that maybe fit me last season, and I stopped caring so much, because at the end of the day, who cares? As long as I am healthy, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter that I went up a size in my jeans. And for me, it's donating my old clothes and not even keeping them in my closet, and looking at them and trying to squeeze back into my jeans that fit me in freaking university or high school, because that's okay to buy new clothes. It's fine. It just takes a lot of repeating things to yourself and telling yourself that it's okay to change and you're going to change, and it's fine if you don't fit into last year's clothes or last season's clothes. Weight fluctuates, and that's really helped me be more confident. That's what really helped me with weight gain and change and overall confidence, because it's not just about the way you look. It can be whether you want to start social media, or if you want to find new friends, or if you are in a new school, new city. Really just putting yourself out there and realizing at the end of the day, people are so much more focused on themselves that if you embarrass yourself, it really doesn't matter. And putting yourself out there and knowing that you gave it your all, that's what matters, and being a good person. I think my batch of cookies is almost done, and it's getting really hot in here. I need to take this apron off. All right, guys, I'm gonna try these cookies. Hopefully they turned out, because yeah, the strawberry cheesecake would have been so good, but I think cherry cheesecake, it's all the same. It all tastes good. Hopefully it's cooked enough. Oh, let me try a different one. I want one with a lot of white chocolate in it. I think this one? Okay. Oh my gosh, it's like eating cake. Okay, guys. I really, really wish I could answer all of your questions, all of your advice. I really do appreciate everyone who took the time to message and ask a question and ask for advice. I would love to do this again. So guys, let me know if you like this video and you want me to do another advice segment or something like that. I'll think of something different to do instead of baking. But I really do love sitting here and talking to you guys, and I really do appreciate that you guys look up to me for advice. I do feel like a big sister to all you guys. So this means a lot to me that I'm able to do this. I will leave on one thing for this Valentine's Day. Love is all around. It's not just in relationships. It's in your pets, your family, your friends, your hobbies. It's all around. So you just have to look for it. And one day, if you want a relationship, if that's what you guys are looking for, you'll find it. And I really do believe that there's love for everyone, whether it's in a relationship, family, your friends, or animals. It's all around. Love you guys. Happy Valentine's Day. Bye.